Good morning, students. Today we will talk about the principal stress and principal plane. Here you can see this, right? So we will see this what is principal stress and principal plane. So before that we will try to understand what is axial loading. We have already seen this axial loading, right? If we take a bar and the load is applied only in one direction, that is in x direction, so due to that load the stress is developed in x direction, that is denoted by sigma x. Here you can see sigma x, right? So this is called as uniaxial loading. Similarly, when the load is applied in two direction, that is in x direction and in y direction, then that is called as biaxial loading. So here sigma x and sigma y is the stress in x and y direction. Similarly, triaxial loading is there. What is triaxial loading? When the load is applied in three directions, sigma, that is in x direction, y direction and z direction. So here the load is applied in x, in y and in z direction, and due to that load this stress is developed, that is sigma x, sigma y and sigma z, right? So this is called as triaxial loading. Now the question comes that where this situation comes in our day-to-day life, right? So before that, see, we had seen already this uniaxial loading. For example, if one rod is there and the load is applied P, right, and at both the direction, that is tensile. So we had seen that longitudinal stress is nothing, it is a load upon area, that is the stress. Similarly, strain, longitudinal strain is what would be the change in length divided by the original length. So this is the example of uniaxial loading, right? After that, see, in our day-to-day life, see, we have seen that this balloon is, we have seen, right? Similarly, gas cylinder, and in hospital we had seen this oxygen cylinder. So what these are nothing but these are the example of biaxial loading. Biaxial loading means what? Here in this balloon the pressurized air is there. Similarly here pressurized gases are there in this cylinder also, right? So what will happen? See, all of them have the pressurized gas, means all these equipments these are having the pressurized gas. So if I will draw its line diagram, so here I will see this line diagram like this, right? So this is just a line diagram. Now if I will analyze, then what I will see, there will be the pressure in the balloon, there will be the pressure at every side. Here you can see this pressure at every side. So this pressure is normal to the this surface, right? Here you can see. And here again if you will see, the pressure is acting at in x direction as well as in y direction, means it is acting in all directions. Similarly here, right? So what happen if this pressure will exert at top and at around the sides? So what will happen? It will try to expand the this cylinder or this balloon, this cylinder, right? So similarly here we can see it will try to expand in this direction, it will stress in x direction, right? So what will happen then? In the result will be what? Result will be that it will expand, right? Now, so here we will see that, see, this stress will act in x direction and in y direction. Suppose from this gas cylinder, if I take a small piece, so here just you can see this is the small piece, and if I will analyze this small piece, I will see that the stress is acting in x direction and in y direction. So this is one of the example. So this is what? This is the biaxial loading. Now it is clear that in which cases it happens. So in our day-to-day life these are the examples of biaxial loading. I think it will be clear to you. Next, We had seen uniaxial. Uniaxial means only in one direction. See, if we know that the load is applied is P and this cross sectional area is A, so we know that stress is equal to what? P upon A. That is the uniaxial loading, and the stress is P upon A. Now, if suppose here what I will do, just suppose here this is the same example, right? So what I will do, suppose I just take one oblique plane. This is like this here. This is called as oblique plane. Oblique okay. So just if I take one oblique plane, means if I am cutting this section like this, right? So this is oblique plane. So what will happen? See, so here this at this oblique plane, this normal stress will act, and this normal stress will be due to the normal load, that is Pn. Here you can see this is P actually only, but when I will cut this bar, this is just like a circular bar, okay. So if I will cut with some angle, this theta, with some angle theta, so perpendicular to this plane, one stress will occur. This will be called as normal stress, right? Similarly, along this oblique plane, one stress will act, and that will be called as shear stress or tangential stress, okay. Now it will be clear to you normal stress, how it came, and shear stress now. So we will see what is normal stress on oblique plane and what is shear stress on oblique plane. See here, we had seen this sigma x, that is acting in the x direction, and the corresponding load for this is Px. Similarly, this sigma y is what is that is the stress in y direction, and the corresponding load is Py, right? So due to this Px, load Px and load Py, we will get this normal load, that is Pn, and tangential load, that is Pt, right? So this is called as the shear the load, normal load, this is tangential load and this is the normal load, right? Now once it is clear what is normal stress on oblique plane and what is shear stress on oblique plane. See, this is oblique plane, this one is our oblique plane, and perpendicular to this is the normal stress, and the stress which is acting along the plane is, that is shear stress, and that stress is due to this load, and this normal stress is the load Pn. I think it will be clear to you. Now once it is clear, next is how we will define the location of oblique plane. This location of oblique plane, how we define. So here see, just I have taken one small element, right, and sigma x, sigma y, they are acting in x direction and in y direction, right? So if you will see, then here this plane and this plane, these are the vertical planes, right? So there are the two planes, and these two planes are vertical planes, and here I will say this plane and this plane is the horizontal plane, right? And see, this vertical plane I will assume, or I will say that this is my reference plane, right? See, this is, I will say that this is my, if just see, I have taken this one cylinder, right, and here see, I take one plane with some angle. This is say theta. I think it will be clear. Just you understand actually. So this is what, this is theta. This is theta means this is the location of oblique plane. This is our oblique plane. This oblique plane maybe I can take anywhere, but just for my simplicity, I am considering this plane. I am considering this plane as a I am considering this vertical plane as a reference plane. I think here I am feeling little bit difficulty, but you understand this. So this vertical plane is as a reference plane, okay. And this plane, this oblique plane is the this is the oblique plane. I will say this is the oblique plane, right? This is oblique plane, and this theta is the location of this oblique plane with reference to this reference plane, right? Or with respect to reference plane. I think it will be clear to you now. So see, just when I will take this oblique plane, I will take in clockwise direction. This theta, right? So this plane is called as reference plane, this plane is called as oblique plane, and this theta is called as location of oblique plane. If I will resolve px and py about this oblique plane, we will get this normal stress, we will get the normal force, and I will get this tangential force, and due to this normal force, normal stress will develop, and due to this tangential force, shear stress or tangential stress will develop. I think it will be clear. So that normal stress is denoted by sigma n, and tangential stress is denoted by sigma t. So here, see here. So due to this normal stress, this normal load, this normal stress will be developed, and that will be what? Load upon area. This area means which area? Area of this plane, this oblique plane. This is the oblique plane. So area of this oblique plane. If I divide load with the area of this oblique plane, I will get the normal stress. Similarly, if I will divide, if I will take this vertical force divide by the area of this oblique plane, then I will get the shear stress. I think it will be clear. See, A is what? Area of oblique plane, and oblique plane is what? This is our oblique plane, okay. Now normal stress is clear and shear stress is clear. After that, see, one thing is there, at different value of theta we will get different value of sigma n and tau, that is shear stress. Means if this theta will change, see, if this theta may be changed, suppose this plane, this is the actually here I will take one more see here, right? So I am taking theta from with reference to this plane, right? So this is the theta. So if theta will change, like here, see theta again, this theta will be more, right? again this, if I will take this plane as like this, right? So what will happen? Again this theta will be something different. So what will happen when this theta will change? The surface area means this oblique plane, this is the oblique plane, so the surface area of this oblique plane will also change, and this theta will also change, right? So that is the same here. At different value of theta we will get the different value of sigma n and tau, right? At different oblique plane, area of plane will be changed, that I have already told you, right? For example, at this theta, right? At this theta, this is the oblique plane, so here the area of this oblique plane will be different. At here, at this oblique plane, area will be different, and at this oblique plane, area will be different. I think it will be clear to you. Right? So, and theta is what? Location of oblique plane with respect to reference plane, that I have already told you. Now, once it is clear this is oblique plane is clear, and normal stress is clear, this shear stress is clear. Next is principal plane, this term, here you can see this term. What is principal plane? See here, when this is the oblique plane, right? So here see, this is my here, just I was talking what yes, see here, this is my oblique plane, one stress is acting, that is normal stress, and this is denoted by sigma n, right? And one stress is acting along the oblique plane, that is the, I can say, sigma t, right? So see here, so when on the oblique plane, then shear stress, that tau, this shear stress, this tau will be equal to 0, then that plane will be called as principal plane. I will repeat again, this is our oblique plane, and on this oblique plane, when sigma this tau is equal to 0, means shear stress is equal to 0, there will be only normal stress, then this plane will be called as principal plane. I think it will be clear. The same thing, there will be an oblique plane at which shear stress, that tau is equal to 0, then that will be called as, such plane is known as principal plane, right? Now next thing is that one thing it is clear, principal plane. Second, again there are two mutually perpendicular principal plane. See here, again principal plane is of two types. Here just you can see, I will delete this. See here, so once principal plane is clear, principal plane is of again two types, major principal plane and here it is minor principal plane. So when it will be major principal and when it will be minor principal plane. So here simple is that when sigma n is equal to, we can say that is maximum, when sigma means when normal stress will be maximum, when normal stress will be maximum, I will say sigma max, or I should say just only maximum. So when normal stress is maximum, then I will say that plane is major principal plane. Is this clear? When when normal stress is maximum, then I will say that is the maximum major principal plane, right? Now what is minor principal plane? When this normal stress, that is sigma n, I think sigma n, this is sigma n, okay, is minimum. When this sigma n is, when this sigma n is minimum, this is sigma n, this is sigma n, the same thing which is given above, this one. When this sigma n is minimum, then I will say that plane is minor principal plane. Means at that plane when sigma normal stress will be maximum, then I will say that is the major principal plane, and when this sigma normal stress is minimum, then I will say minor principal plane, right? That is clear, major principal plane and minor principal plane. Now one more term is there. Generally this major principal, on the major principal plane, the stress which is acting, that is called as major principal stress, right? That is called as major principal, or just that is called as major principal stress, okay. I think it will be clear to you. I will repeat once again. See what I am saying. The stress which is acting at major principal plane is called as major principal stress, right? Similarly, the stress which is acting on this minor principal plane, that is called as minor principal stress, okay. So I think it will be clear to you. So the stress which is acting on the major principal plane, that is called as major principal stress, and the stress which is acting on minor principal plane, then that is called as minor principal stress. I think it will be clear to you now. The same thing it is given. Normal stress acting on principal plane is known as principal stress. There are two types which I have already told you, major principal plane and minor principal plane. Now here see, the normal stress sigma n, the formula is given by as a sigma x plus sigma y, sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta plus tau xy sin 2 theta. Similarly shear stress, this is the formula, right? Shear stress, that is tau, right? Sigma n already clear, sigma x clear, sigma y clear to you. Now next is the formula, that same thing actually here. This is this formula and this formula is almost same, right? This is same. So here now one more thing is that we had talked about major principal stress. So major principal stress is denoted by sigma 1, okay, and minor principal stress is denoted by sigma 2. And for formula for sigma 1 is sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus under root of sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 square plus tau x square. Similarly for sigma 2, that is only the difference between these two is here, this minus, okay. Now position of principal plane, which I told you, this theta p, that is what? Location of oblique plane. We have already discussed this. So this is the formula, tan 2 theta p is equal to 2 into tau xy divided by sigma x minus sigma y, right? Now next is maximum shear stress. The formula is sigma 1 minus sigma 2 divided by 2. So we will get this okay. I think it will be clear to you. Next, in the next lecture we will solve the problem, and we will see numerical. Okay, if you have any doubt regarding this, so we will see in the next lecture. Thank you all, and keep in contact. If you have any doubt, you can contact me on WhatsApp group. Okay, thank you.